Our tour today continues at a couple of Southern Oregon businesses where green and sustainable daily efforts really make a difference.
So Larry, I understand that the city of Ashland even has a green business program.
That's correct. Gorilla Bites is an example of a business we're evaluating now for their practices that might be more sustainable than would be typical in a business.
Wow.
Might include lighting or many other aspects of their operation.
So this isn't potentially a green business just because they sell a lot of salads, is it?
Well, not necessarily, but we really try and evaluate all the impacts of what a business does. And really every business does things differently than other businesses do. So for example, a restaurant, we might take a look at whether or not they're using disposable silverware and bowls or whether they're using hard silverware bowls. That certainly has an impact on how much energy they use, the materials that they're consuming. Some of the other things that we might look at in here, for example, is what kind of lighting they're using. So one of the things we might take a look at is how much water they use to rinse their dishes before they put them in a dishwasher. Is it a high volume or a low volume spray rinse valve?
I can do that.
Yeah. One of the things that the city does is we provide a low volume spray rinse valve for free. And that both saves them energy and water. We really look at a lot of things at businesses, from the very basic things like whether or not their doors are weather stripped, onto maybe their refrigeration systems or their lighting. So really, again, it depends a lot on what goes on in that specific business. Yeah, we might look at whether or not the toilet that they use in the business is a high volume toilet or a low volume toilet. And the city also has some programs to assist them in paying for replacement of high volume toilets with one that uses less water per flush.
That makes sense. That's cold.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that we might work with the business on, for example, that has refrigeration, is whether or not they have an automatic door closure. If you'll notice, this one doesn't, and the door stays open if they don't push it. There is a device which they can install which would close that door every time someone came out of it. They are practicing a good measure, though, that you'll see these strips, these door strips that maintain the cold inside the freezer or refrigeration even when the door is open. So that's a very good practice. One of the things that we might consider is the actual product that they sell and whether that's sustainable. And certainly organically grown foods are more sustainable than non-organic foods, so we'd evaluate that.
Interesting.
The Standing Stone Restaurant is an example of a business that we have in town that's very green and sustainable. They've actually been recognized by the governor's office as one of the most sustainable businesses in Oregon. They have a very sophisticated energy management system that tells them when to turn things on and off. They've got a range hood which senses when they're doing cooking, either by smoke or by heat, and operates at a much higher speed, recovering heat off of their brewing process and delivering that to heat hot water. Just a number of things they're doing in that business that's saving a lot of energy and more sustainable operations.